If you open up a dictionary and look up narcissism, this is a Harry Potter book, but you get the idea. We see a variety of definitions, but two lines stand out: sense of entitlement and need for admiration. So today we're going to talk about how narcissism can affect you as an artist or as a creative. Now today we're painting with a pretty broad brush. Narcissism is one of these things where there's a million articles about it online, there's all these different definitions, all these different meanings. It's a pretty serious psychological condition. But for the sake of today's video, we're going to talk more about the characteristics of narcissism that most of us possess. Myself, being a YouTuber, I have a pretty fair amount of it, I would say, that I have to keep in check, like most people you watch on YouTube. I mean, we're putting our thoughts and ideas out there thinking people care about them. That in itself can be taken as narcissism if you want to. And everything in today's video is actually based on my own experiences building my own brand and my own creative career over the last few years. It hasn't been easy, and along the way I've had to kind of work on my mentality and catch myself getting into these little mental traps that can be super detrimental to your actual progress and to your growth. So the first thing we got to talk about is a sense of entitlement. If you've ever watched sports, you know there's always that one guy in the group who's like, I can do that. It doesn't even look that big of a deal.
I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
The years of experience, the years of practice, all the work that goes into becoming a professional athlete seems to go out the window for this one person, and they think, hey, I believe I could do that if I just applied myself, which isn't really the case, and we all know that. This bizarre phenomenon also applies to creative people. I remember being in my little apartment and making my YouTube videos when I first started thinking, yo, these videos are great and they deserve 1 million views. When in reality, those videos were terrible, and I'm honestly surprised anyone even watched them. Shout out to you if you've been on the channel since the beginning, and hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this one. See, I was stuck in an I deserve mindset, which stunts your creativity. The idea that you deserve something implies that you no longer need to strive for something better. You essentially stop innovating, and over time you continue to repeat this I deserve with no innovation pattern over and over. The easiest fix for this is just remove the word deserve from your vocabulary when you're speaking about your creative work. And you can replace what you think you deserve with a desire to create at your absolute best. And creating at your absolute best is something that can be constantly redefined and grow over time. Listen to the difference. My work deserves to be noticed versus when I create at my best, I feel good about my projects and I get noticed more. There's a really big difference in how those two sentences play into your mindset. And ever since I started thinking in terms of what is my best work, that's what's going to get me noticed more, my work has improved a lot because the focus goes into creating as opposed to this negative I deserve mindset. Now, one little trap that can happen when it comes to creating work and sharing it on social media and looking for that attention is this desire for admiration. It's pretty easy as a creative person to let this need for admiration run out of control. This is compounded in today's social media world. You can oftentimes find yourself creating for the likes, for the shares, for the engagement, and less for your own satisfaction. You're actually not an artist at all if you do that. You're just a reflection of what's popular at the time. There's no denying the power of social media in today's creative world. I mean, I use it all the time. It's a huge part of my job. It's a huge part of everyone's job. One of the biggest ways that you can maintain your sense of self, the sense of who you are as an artist, and not get caught in this trap of just creating for the engagement and creating for the admiration is to create a promotional strategy for your work. So that way, if you're not getting the likes or the attention that you want because of your work, it's not really anything to do with you as an artist. It has more to do with the strategy that you're using to get from point A to point B. Listen to these two sentences. This thing I made didn't get enough likes. Versus, I'm going to take some time to think about a strategy that can get my original work seen by more people who will be interested in it. The big difference in those two sentences is, like I said, one is blaming your work and your creativity and who you are, I'm not good enough, versus blaming a promotional strategy and blaming the way that you're using social media. It has nothing to do with your work. You're trying your best. You're still creating to feel good, but you can probably improve on the business strategy you're using to get your work out there. Big difference, because I'll admit it's hard to separate who you are from the things that you're creating. People say to do that. I don't believe it. Separate yourself from the strategy of getting your work out there, and when that goes wrong, readjust. but don't feel the need to readjust your work just because it's not getting noticed as much as you would like. In the social media world, you often hear the phrase, ignore the haters, which is definitely important. You don't want toxic negativity affecting how you see yourself. But something else that no one talks about is how detrimental positive comments can be on how you see yourself as well. And don't get me wrong, positive comments, they're great. Leave some on this video. They only become a problem when the positive comments inflate your ego and change how you see yourself. It's so easy to look at your YouTube comments or your Instagram comments or Facebook, whatever social media you're using, and read through them and either feel really good about yourself or feel really bad about yourself. That's why I don't read any blog posts or anything posted about me, because for the most part, it's gonna impact the way I see myself and impact the way I do things, which is a negative. Even if it's all super positive, that reinforcement might make me do something that I didn't feel compelled to do just so I can get a certain reaction from people. And that right there can be dangerous. I wish I had learned this sooner, but 2020 taught me to be grateful when a video is well received, but never expect any reaction. And the thing about creating at your best and not expecting a certain reaction is it's very easy to distinguish between the quote-unquote haters and someone who's actually giving you genuine feedback, which is something important as an artist to be able to take on and understand and recognize. Some people want you to become better and some people see flaws in what you're doing, and if you can't be receptive to those, it's a huge problem. So separating the sense of self from what you're making and focusing on the best allows for you to separate more of your own ego and who you are as a person from a potential critic that is actually right and helping you out. But at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a guy who makes YouTube videos. This is just a video about my experiences with these little narcissistic characteristic brain traps that happen as I've been growing through my art career. Feels like I'm constantly learning new things about myself and new things about how I think and how I can approach this whole creative space in a better way. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll answer comments for the first 2 hours. Y'all the truth. See you next time.